Welcome back. So here we have a little bit of a quandary. Now, one of the things that I hear a lot from Unity developers that have just started out trying to use animations and things in their game engine is, well, I got my guy, I created some clips, and then I dragged him into the game, and I played it. Where's my animation? Like, what's going on? How come I don't see my animation? It's not playing. How do I call it? What do I do now? All right, so let's take a look and see what this animation controller is all about. So I'm going to select my eye guy here, and this is the thing that's going to be animated, right? So I'll look over here in the inspector, and what I'm seeing is, the first thing I see is an animator. Okay, when you have a rig with animations, it will generate what's called an animator for you, and this is good. This is what we want. But what we're missing here, right, this missing runtime animator controller, right? We need an animation controller. And just to show you what's going on here, I got this guy, and I got a little script on him. It's a really simple script. We've done this with the inputs, right? Left arrow, left and right, moves him left and right, and it actually pans his movement. Instead of rotating and moving forward, it just moves him left and right. And so this is if we were having a game that was fairly flat, and we were moving forward at a relative speed, and I wanted him to be able to dodge left and right bullets or whatever, then I'd want this left and right movement to happen on the x-axis, and not to rotate him. If I have a fully 3D world and he can rotate all around, then I'm going to have my horizontal axis rotate his body, and then I'm going to move him forward or back based on that rotation. So it's just a different way to work on setting up transforms for an input. Alright, but now what I really want to do is have some other stuff happen. I want some animations going on. I want to be able to trigger my animations. But in order to have any control over any animations at all, or even have them show up on a guy, we need an animation controller. So how do we do that? Okay, so I'm going to create a folder here, and I'm going to name that folder animation. That's just so all my animation data and controllers and any clips that I generate that aren't inside of the file, I can throw in here. We always want to be organized when we're generating a project directory this big. And all of these files are available to you from the project directory, Learning Unity, or Game Programming with Unity, excuse me. So they'll all be available to you with the course materials under Game Programming with Unity. It will be a Unity project, and all this stuff will be in it. Okay, so including this file here, which is Lesson 902 Unity. Alright, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to create an animation controller. Let's go ahead and click on the animation folder. Now I'll right click, and this is the thing that always kind of screws people up. It's like, how do I make an animation controller? Shouldn't there be one made already for me? Yes, there should be, but they've chosen not to automatically generate an animation controller in case you want to use one already in existence. So this being a Unity-made asset, we're going to hit Create and Animation Controller. There we go. It is an asset, so I'm going to call this iGuy Controller. Now, there's nothing in that data yet, but at this point, we can select our iGuy, and we can drag that into the controller. Now, if I pick my animation controller or my iGuy, and I open up my animator window, and I can go to Window, Animator. Don't confuse this with Animation, which is an older dialog, and also has the ability to allow us to create our own clips inside of Unity as opposed to outside of it. But what we want is the Animator, which is our animation controller, also often known as a state machine. So we have the state of stuff happening. That's why they have this any state here. Alright, so the way the state machine is set up, and the state machine for this animation controller that we have, and we can see which animation controller it is if we make sure we have the object selected upon which this animation controller is applied. And what we have here is the mechanism interface. We have layers. Right, and we can create as many layers of animation as we want and move back and forth between them. And we have parameters, and we'll talk about parameters later. But first, let's just say here we have an animation controller with an animation machine now hooked up to our animator. And that's pretty much it. That's how we set up our character to work with mechanism. Now, next up, we're going to start putting clips in here and start to create properties for those clips, and I'll show you how that works.